Hey guys, welcome back. It's Amarachi. So I'm just here to discuss, well, not really discuss, I'm just here to give my thoughts on the latest episode of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Y'all, today is what, Sunday. The episode aired last Wednesday. I've been trying to find a quiet time to film. I've just come to the conclusion that my family is just loud. So if you guys hear noise in the background, that's my family. I'm sorry, like I can't. Yo, I'm just gonna try and talk over them, okay? so, so this episode opens up with Kyle is returning from her jog or walk around the neighborhood. So she meets Reba in the kitchen, and Reba's asking her, "How was your walk?" Kyle almost gets lost based on the direction that Sutton gives her. And for somehow, her and Reba get into the conversation of how Reba grew up. So Reba tells us that her dad trained her to be she was the favorite child for her dad, and her dad raised her to be independent, so she's not really a nurturer. So Kyle's ears perked up when Reba said that. So when Sutton was getting ready, putting her makeup on, and Kyle was doing her hair, she brought that conversation up to Sutton and told Sutton that your mom told me that she's not a nurturer. Sutton was like, she said that to you? I guess like Sutton was like shocked that Reba opened up to someone. So the ladies get ready and they come downstairs. We find out that Sutton wants to take Kyle and Garcelle to go see her childhood home. And Reba is kind of hesitant. And Kyle says, are they going to go inside? And Reba said, no, there's people live there. And Sutton says, well, they're going to knock on the door. So Reba doesn't want any parts of it. We find out that Sutton's dad back in 2022 unalived himself. He was suffering from chronic depression. He was on different medications, and he also started self-medicating himself. And I guess it got too much for him that he took his own life. And Sutton kind of mentioned that in the confessionals that she has pent up anger towards her mother because her mother was home at that time. She's mentioned that her mother knew that her father was self-medicating. Her mother knew that there was a GUN in the household, and the day that her dad did what he did, the mother was in the kitchen. So I guess she kind of feels like her mother could have prevented it, or her mother should have stepped in. Y'all, it was when Sutton mentioned that, it seemed like a weight had been lifted off her shoulder, because when she said it, she was like, there, I said it. Like, it's like something that she's been holding in. So she said that. Now before they go over to the childhood home, Garcelle and Reba are talking. So Garcelle decides to, tell Reba about how Sutton is feeling and how Sutton would like to, for Reba to be more open, for Reba to be more welcoming towards Sutton, for Reba to show more affection, more of the motherly love that Sutton is craving from her. And Reba basically tells Garcelle, I don't think that's any of your business, and I don't want to insult you, but you don't really know the history that we have, which is correct. And I feel like Reba is correct, because Garcelle and then Garcelle told Reba, well, I'm only coming from the friendship that I have with Sutton. And so Reba was like, so is this a message to me? Basically implying like, so is this what Sutton told you to tell me? And, Garcelle kind of like alluded to it. And I feel like Reba was right, because Garcelle, even though she's not really I don't want to say a neutral party. Garcelle doesn't know Reba. This was her first time meeting Reba. Okay, imagine you and your family member are having like some type of issue, and somebody that you don't know, somebody that you've never met, and then now you're at a family function, somebody you don't know, somebody you've never met comes up to you and be like, oh, I'm so-and-so's friend. I know that you guys have like this kind of rift. This is what you're gonna be like, excuse me, who are you? So that's kind of like, that's the vibe that it was given. So I feel like Garcelle was kind of like meddling, like Kyle said. And Miss Reba could have said worse, but she just said, I don't think it's any of your business. I don't want to disrespect you, but you don't know the history. And she kept it cute, but then her and Garcelle talked a little bit, because she could have shut that conversation off with Garcelle and just be like, look, get out my face with this. And hold on, let me adjust the camera real quick. Yeah, so she didn't disrespect Garcelle in any way, and the statement that she made was valid. Like, but I also feel like that conversation that Garcelle had with her, like that little nugget, like Garcelle like gave her, or like that little, you know, whisper that Garcelle gave her, it kind of like, we kind of saw the result of it towards the end of the episode. So Garcelle and Reba are done talking. Now Kyle, Reba, Sutton, they all come downstairs and they're having brunch. Y'all, Avi is, I forgot, let me go back a little bit. So in the beginning, Avi is preparing for brunch. Reba's like, Avi comes into the kitchen. He's like, okay, are you ready for brunch? Reba's like, I thought we were having breakfast. Avi's like, well, it's turned to brunch now. So Avi tells Reba, you want to go get dressed? Reba's like, I am dressed. Avi looked her up and down. And then when Avi was making, I don't know, I think he was making some breakfast food. And Reba was just like ordering him around. The way Reba was talking to Avi was the way that Sutton talks to Avi. I was like, damn, the apple sure does not fall far from the tree. Because even Garcelle said 2 words, apple tree, talking about Reba and Sutton. Because it was like watching their interaction, it kind of like reminded her of like how Sutton talks to Avi. But I guess this difference is Avi can kind of speak back to Sutton. But in this situation, Avi couldn't really like talk back to, you know, Reba. He was just like, Avi just looked like, it was like, Sutton, please get me out of here. Like, get me out of here now. And I was like, damn. So they're having their brunch. That's when the discussion to go to the childhood home comes up. So they drive over to the childhood home. The current residents let them come inside. And then Sutton is like, you know, showing the ladies like the house, going from room to room, telling us about her experiences in each room. And then we find out that, you know, many times there was I think there's like a room where the father loved to sit. He loved to sit on his recliner. And when he's there, when Sutton is leaving, when Sutton is about to leave, he will reach out his hand for Sutton to like, you know, tap it and go. But the night before the incident with him, Sutton was leaving and her dad didn't reach out his hand for her to tap. So she wiggled his toes. And that was the last day that she saw him alive, because then the next day she received a call from her mother telling her to come home. So Sutton starts wondering, like, if she would have sat down that time when she was leaving, if she would have taken 5 minutes to just sit down and talk to her father, if she would have known that that would be the last time that she sees him alive. Y'all, I teared up in that scene because I was just like, wow, I don't know. So Garcelle makes a great point as to what could be the cause of Reba and Sutton's rift in their relationship. So Sutton has told us that she's a daddy's girl and her dad knows how to cook. Her dad made the best crab cakes. So Garcelle makes a point saying that she feels like what is going on between them is Sutton had a daddy's girl close relationship with her father, and she believes that Reba envied that. There was jealousy there. So that's kind of why she, like, you know, keeps Sutton at arm's length. And that is going to come in. I actually believe that the assessment of Garcelle is correct, because at the end of the episode, when Sutton and Reba kind of like had a heartfelt conversation, towards the end when they were given a toast, Reba mentioned that she would like for her and Sutton to be friends. So when she said that, I was like, ding, ding, ding. So I was like, okay, so Garcelle's assessment was correct. So Reba has been craving that kind of relationship that Sutton had with her dad, but she just didn't know how to go about it. So now we pan back to Beverly Hills. Bose, Dorit, and Erica meet up. And Bose is telling us that, you know, her and Keely, they've been dating for 8 months now, and they want to have a baby, but they've never said I love you to each other. And I'm just like, and Bo said she doesn't want to say it first. I just asked myself, I was like, what kind of games are y'all, like, what kind of, like, I feel like this is kind of like, you know, like when you're like in your early 20s, you meet a guy, you're like, oh, I like him, I'm feeling him, but I'm not going to tell him how I feel just so he don't get big headed. I feel like that's the game that Keely and Bozema are playing. Because I'm just like, what? And then on another thing, when a man meets you, he knows if he's gonna marry you, or if he's gonna have children with you, or if you're just like a good time woman. It like, I feel like Bose keeps like, oh, like oh, so when are you gonna get married? Oh, is there a time? He's asking, oh, is there a timeline? Oh, I'm like, Keely, I feel like Keely has no interest in marrying Bozema. I feel like he likes what he's getting from her. So because I feel like it shouldn't be, being in a relationship shouldn't be like this. It's like playing chess. It shouldn't be like this. It shouldn't be a game. Like, the man should like step, like, Bose, you should know. This man hasn't said I love you yet. This man, whenever you bring up the topic of marriage, he's like all wishy-washy. Can't give you like a straight answer. You told him that you want to have children, but you don't want to have children out of wedlock. And he's like, and then you tell him that, you know, your time is kind of ticking. And he's like, oh, is there a clock? Like, Keely, stop playing games. And I feel Bose is, and that's, I don't know. The new wave of women that are coming on Bravo, they're beautiful, they're intelligent, they're like bosses in their own right. They have achieved things in their own right. But it's like they come on these shows and they're begging the men that they're with to love them the way that they want to be loved. For instance, Stacey Rush. We found out that Stacey Rush, possibly her and TJ, because when we saw that TJ and Stacey, we knew that something was not right in the milk. Okay, what's next? Kiana and her man. Who's next? What is it called? Giselle and all like the slew of men that she brought on. We're just like, girl, and I'm just like, come on, like, Bozema, you can do better. You do not need a man that truly wants you, a man that truly loves you, a man that truly wants to rock with you and sees a future with you. It will not feel like pulling teeth to get answers from him. He will voluntarily be giving you this information. Unless Keely, okay, I'm going to play devil's advocate here. Unless Keely is shy about being on camera and that's why he's wishy-washy with his answers, that's the only thing I can think of. Because at this point, I don't know. Because I'm just like, bruh, what's going on? So she spills all of that. And Erica's like, why is it that you guys are talking about babies, but you guys haven't, like, you know, said I love yous to each other? Girl, that's the question of the year. But so Dorit decides to tell us that her and PK spoke on the phone. The conversation was friendly, and that the PK that she used to know, the PK that's the father of her children, the PK that is loving, like, she saw that. At this point, Erica and Bose are telling her it's a trick. Girl, don't believe it. Dorit is like, oh, I don't think it's a trick. At this point, I feel like Dorit is playing in our faces. I looked it up. Today is what? February 15, 2024. I looked it up on the internet. Dorit and what's his name? PK have not divorced. Back in May of 2024 is when they announced their separation. I feel like Dorit and PK plan. At this point, I'm starting to feel like they planned this whole thing for Dorit to have a storyline. I thought, damn, PK, you were really okay. She talking about they're working on they're working on having a better relationship. They're working on reconciling for the kids. I'm like, PK, I'm like, Dorit, you have dogged PK out on this show. This is what, episode, I don't know. What is this episode? Episode 10, 11, 12, I don't know. Since the first episode of this season, you have dogged this man out. You have called him and all of a sudden now you want to reconcile with him because of the children. So what happened, like, all the dragging that you've been dragging him up until now? The kids are not going to see that one day? So I feel like they're playing in our faces. And I feel like, damn, PK, you were really okay with this woman dragging you like this? I'll say, wow. Because I really think that they're playing in our faces. And, oh, why does my hair look flat? I really feel like they're playing in our faces and they're not planning on getting that divorce. So I'm not even gonna put energy in Dorit and PK's storyline about divorce anymore. At this point, I don't care because they're playing in our faces. So where was I? Hold on, guys. Let me look at my notes because I've forgotten a few things. Like I said, I watched this episode on Wednesday. I'm recording on Sunday. So I've forgotten a few things. So and guys, I'm not talking about every single scene. I'm just, having like a discussion of like things that stood out to me while I was watching the episode. So I'm not gonna like go scene by scene. So yeah. So this is now towards the end of the episode. Reba and Sutton are having a discussion, and Sutton is basically telling Reba, like, I would like for you to, be more motherly towards me. I would like for you to be more encouraging. Say you're proud of me. And Reba is saying, say I love you. And Reba's like, you want me to say I love you? And she was like, okay, I love you. Okay, like okay, and so like basically saying like, okay, I've said I love you. Now how does that impact your life? So Reba says that she feels like saying I love you, saying I'm proud of you, those are like trite. Those are like things that society has overused. So it doesn't have much meaning anymore. Basically saying that she feels these things for Sutton, but she doesn't feel the need to say it. So Sutton is telling her, well, I feel like I want to hear you say it. And Reba is saying that she grew up post World War II and nobody ever told her she was pretty. Nobody ever like coddled her, but she knew that she wanted to be a professional woman, the way her dad raised her. But she knew that just because people are not saying it, it doesn't mean that's not what I am. So basically telling Sutton like, tough it out, like stop caring about what people have to say. And Sutton is telling her, well, my love language, the way I would like for you to show up for me is to tell me that you love me, is to tell me that you're proud of me, to be encouraging towards me. And her and Reba, they go back and forth a little bit. And then Reba starts softening up. And Sutton tells Reba about her fashion show that she's having. And Reba says that she would like to come. Maybe she can come to LA to witness the show, fly over there. Sutton is like, you want to come to LA? And then Reba makes a joke like, yeah, if I come, where am I going to sleep? I don't want to sleep with the fishes. I guess Sutton has like a fish tank in one of the rooms or something like that. So I feel like they get to a resolution. And that's why I said, I feel like the discussion that Reba had with Garcelle kind of helped Reba realize, okay, maybe my daughter, I need to start considering my daughter's feelings. Yes, I grew up a different way, but I don't know. But then when Reba mentioned like she grew up post World War II and she never had anybody tell her that she was pretty, never had anybody tell her that she was beautiful. I was like, but when you met Kyle, you told her she was beautiful. Like, I'm just like, I don't know. Is there a correlation or am I just reaching? I was just like, I don't know, yo. So Reba and Sutton, they reach an understanding, and Sutton says, okay, mind you, this whole time that they're having this discussion, Avi, Garcelle, and Kyle, they're like by the door eavesdropping. So Sutton says, I'm gonna go get my friends. And she's going to get her friends. That's like the three of them decides to scatter. And then Sutton is like, I was coming to get you guys, bring you guys down. Garcelle's like, oh, we're already down. So Garcelle pulls Sutton over to ask her how did the discussion go. She said that the discussion went well and that her and her mother had reached an understanding. So they all go over to, prepare for dinner. Go over to the table to eat. And they're given a toast. And that was what Reba said. I think Reba made a toast to friendship with Sutton. That's why I said I feel like the assessment that Garcelle made was correct, because it's like Reba has been yearning for that relationship that Sutton has with her dad. She just didn't know how to go about it. And Sutton made crab cakes. Like I mentioned earlier, Sutton said her dad made the best crab cakes. Apparently not apparently, she said that her dad loved to cook. So he was like the cook of the house, whereas the mother didn't like to cook. Sutton also mentioned like the day after her dad unalived himself, the mother asked her to make crab cakes and she burnt them. So Sutton made crab cake. She was very adamant and like making sure she got the ingredient right. And the mother Reba tasted it, and Reba was like, the crab cake is good. So they all gave a toast. So I forgot, there was a scene that I forgot. So Bozoma has a scene with her daughter. She's telling the daughter that, possibly a baby could be in the picture with the boyfriend and I. How do you feel about that? And she was okay with it. She basically said that Bose has a lot of love and to go around, and she wants her mother to, as she's about to leave and go to college, she wants her mom to share that love and bond with another human being. So the daughter is okay with her going around to possibly not going around. The daughter's okay with her having possibly another baby. All right, y'all. So that's my 2 cents on what stood out to me on the episode of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. You guys let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section, and I'll talk to you guys later. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.